You spent how many years in med school?
Approximately 10 years.
10
That's
years.
like a lot of years.
So regardless of how the journey was, how stormy it was, see this doctor,
You go do how?
call it out. If you're an average student, and I mean an average student who understands that you need to open your book and read, and you understand, you can become a medical doctor.
If you had a classmate like that or a classmate like that, what would you have said to that person?
There was this slangs I and my friends usually would use back then. I would tell myself, you don't get as you won't be where you never be before.
Hi guys, my name is Ohani the Chairman Prince, and with me is...
Hi guys, my name is Adipsi Samuel. So welcome to What's Your Story?
So today we have a guest with us who used to be my chief while he was in med school. And Chief, I would like for you to introduce yourself and also tell people watching what you're currently working on.
Hi guys, my name is Dr. Ojukwu John Wilson, and as many would call me, Dr. Forbes. I'm currently a medical doctor, as we all know. A medical officer, currently doing private practice here and there, and with time, we'll get to know more.
Welcome.
Dr. Forbes, welcome to What's Your Story.
Thank you so much.
I think back then, you're one of those kids that I used to look up to. I mean, not just for the intellect part, but how you were able to balance being an entrepreneur and also med school. I think I heard about Dr. Forbes' team or something like that.
In fact, I heard a little about Dr. Forbes. So welcome, sir. I'm really happy that you're here.
Thank you so
And
much.
in fact, like they drill us in med school, we're here to drill you too. So
I'm here for it.
so let him kick off with the questions.
Dr. Forbes, if you had to summarize your life in med school in 3 words, what would you say it is?
One is unconventional, tenacious, and emotional.
Unconventional, tenacious, and emotional.
Emotional.
These are strong words. And I don't know, I think maybe you could throw more light as to what med school was like.
Okay, man. I think med school, firstly, I think it was amazing. But one thing I realized that as time went on was it was quite difficult at some point because of the elongated number of years we had to spend. I just had to find something outside the normal conventional medical practice, something that was going to ease me off. So that was why I got into a bit of business, a bit of, student politics, and so many things. So yeah, it was just me trying to venture into other things that could keep me sane while in medical school.
You spent how many years in med school?
Approximately 10 years.
10
That's
years.
like a lot of years. A lot of years.
When did you graduate?
That was 2025.
So what was the biggest reality check after you graduated?
I just realized that aside what we are being told in medical school, aside the fact that it was just having to play by the book, we had to learn a whole lot, which was around how to interact, relate with other people outside just talking about medicine. Even when it comes to, being in a hospital setting, it's more than having to prescribe, draw out treatment plans for the patients. How you're going to interact with them has more to do than just the treatment you're giving them. Firstly, they just feel calm having you around. Maybe you're just having Dr. Forbes, that interesting doctor who always comes around. It's just quite interesting, other than just, doing the normal thing.
Well, Dr. Forbes, I heard about you, and there are some questions I want to ask you, especially when you talked about the emotional part of med school and then the school politics. I'm so interested in that emotional part.
Okay.
Spending 10 years in med school, I just want to ask, would you do this again? Would you do medicine again?
If I was to turn the hands of time, I would choose doing medicine again. Maybe not for 10 years.
Okay.
But I would choose doing medicine again, over again.
Why? Is it because you have so much love for medicine or for other reasons?
For one, I just love not settling for less. And I think while trying to get into university, I thought if I wasn't going to do something really worth it, then I was just going to get into business. I was just going to, do my thing aside medicine. So yeah, I loved being a medical doctor, or I love being a medical doctor. But aside how, stressing it is, it messes up your work-life balance. It takes a whole lot from you and then gives less, especially within our country. So I love being a medical doctor, but I also love getting into a whole lot of other things.
I think back then, while you were still in med school, I remember you as a socialite. For instance. So how were you able to? Because most of us now we're struggling with balancing our social life and the whole
Med school,
academic life in
yeah.
med school. Because outside people see us as people that we just what we do is just read books.
Yeah.
They see us as.
Yeah.
How were you able to balance being a social life and also being a medical student?
It's by just being you and doing you. For I myself, I just felt medical school had a template.
Okay.
People who came before us would tell us that you just have to keep reading and reading and reading. Do you get? Your life should be around the hospital. From the hospital, you get to the classroom. From the classroom, you're getting back to your hostel, and then the cycle continues. I just had to break free from that because I just thought it was really a messed up kind of lifestyle. Because at some point I got depressed. It was, you could ask yourself if, when the struggle comes in, you ask yourself if you're meant to be here, if this is actually what you want to do.
Okay.
It's just very difficult. And then knowing fully well that the next week after the current time you're in, you're still going to just keep doing the same thing and there's nothing really interesting. And then with the time that is going, you're like, man, what if at some point this doesn't work out? What am I falling back to? I literally don't know any other thing aside being a medical student. And I said to myself, man, I think I need to start reaching out. I think I need to start firstly learning about how other people deal with being medical students. I firstly started with traveling, going for programs around, medicine. Usually then while we had Nigerian Medical Student Association, like I went for programs, NIMSA programs. It was quite interesting having to see other medical students, see how they were living their life. There are people who you would meet and then you won't believe that these are medical students and they are doing perfectly well. They just chose their own path and it's working for them. So the best thing is do you.
Okay, if we are to ponder on that, let's go back to your med school.
Yeah.
From 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, down to 600 level. I mean, you spent 10 years. Let's talk about the exams that you have written, that you wrote in med school. From the second MB, third MB, fourth MB. How was it?
To be honest, okay, when it all dawned on me that this was serious business was, I think when we came in, we have what we call the first MB, where you just have to do your normal physics and all. And then we are told if you didn't meet up with the average for each and every one of them, you're leaving medical school. And then it was like, wow, are you serious? Like, I don't have a chance to even try and rewrite these exams. I just would have to leave. And to even wrap it up, to make it even more interesting, that wasn't a problem for most of my colleagues then, because they were not just reaching for the average. Most of them were reaching to get really high scores. CGPA of 4.5 was normal then for them, or for us. And then you see people smashing as far as 5.0. So it was just, I was like, am I sure I'm meant to be here? Because these guys are seemingly not humans. But then I realized that they were students like me, and all I needed to do was to understand how to navigate through medical school, what it takes to be a medical student, doing it I mean, that doesn't still take you away from being you, but just make sure that you do what it takes to be a medical student while you still do your other things. So I could say you just read, go about your daily life, but don't forget to play by the book, which means you have to read your book as at when due.
But the exams, did you like have any issues?
Yes, I did. I did for second MB. While I was still trying to find my balance, I could remember then I really had a messed up score back then. I was having, when you're done with your CAs, cumulatively, you expected the CA is about 30 marks.
Yeah.
And then you're expected to, from your CA, know your future or your fate.
True.
I could see the CAs of my friends and my colleagues, and it was amazing. And then I looked at mine. I said, nah. From my CA, my CA was seemingly telling me, Omo, you're literally not meant to be here. But then I realized that it wasn't because I was not good, because right from time, I've been a book person, but then it was not just about being a book person. It required a bit of more struggle, a bit of more attention. And then I was a bit distracted because I felt I had a whole lot of things to deal with at home and all. So then I told my parents I needed time for myself. I needed to get a hostel or something. Then they didn't want me to get, I was coming from home. So back and forth, when my colleagues had to exchange materials already, I was just doing my thing. I would come to school and then I'm confused. I'm like, what's happening? Which one are you guys sharing? And then this was how it was going on and on until the CA was gone. But the truth was, when I really got ready to face medical school head on, I knew I've just always been a tenacious person, a very stubborn person. So I said, whatever they are doing, I was going to do it. So I had a few of my friends, I don't know, they might watch this video later, Dr. Richard, Dr. Zimuzo. So then I just packed my bags and I went to stay with them because I knew they were quite doing well then. Yeah, they were stuffed. So I said, I needed to be stuffed. So what does it take? So I went to them, and they accepted me. So I stayed with them, and then we started reading 9 classes back to back to back to back. In fact, I said, even if it means saving myself, maybe just getting 2 receipts and then passing one, I'll hold on to it, because then we are told if you had like 3 receipts, you're just getting out. So I said, even if it's not one, I just hold. So funny enough, I had to go through medical school. I had to go through that second MBA experience without even receipting just one of them. I passed each and every one of them, and I was surprised. But I knew that I had to put in the work, right? And it went through. Some other exams, I had receipts in pediatrics and also in internal medicine. But I understood that it wasn't going to bring me down, because most of those exams, especially internal medicine, which I felt I didn't deserve, sometimes when you're just giving receipts, just go on with it, whether you think you deserve it or not. But sometimes there are just disparities that makes it what happens. I remember taking up my books most times 30 minutes after seeing the results. While I would cry, I would be reading, crying. So I just knew that I have to do what it takes to become a medical doctor. So regardless of how the journey was, how stormy it was, see this doctor,
you go do
call it out. And that was it.
Shout out to Dr. Richard and Dr. Zimuzo. I mean, they've made
see how it works.
So is there any lessons now you picked up from med school that is guiding your daily practices?
I think one of the things I appreciated about medical school was I learned how to be a sociable person. And it made life a lot more easier for me outside medical school, because having to step into environments where people would find it difficult getting their balance, or even adapting, I do it so quickly, right? Because I get into environments and, have a cheerful smile, relate with as much people as I can. And I mean, irrespective of whether you're in the health field or not, it might even just be normal security people. Just relate, feel free. Because there's this thing about, or this thing they say about medical doctors. They are very uptight, very strict and all. I just think it's not necessary, because every other person around you helps you be you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They at one point in time would help you get through. If it's a training you're having within this environment, they might help you get through it. They might give you directions. Just flow. So that was one thing I learned in medical school, like from my own unconventional, movements and everything. But usually in medical school, it's just read your books, do your thing. Well, from my own experience, I just learned to be sociable.
Now let's do a little dark side in med school.
Okay.
I mean, that's part of where people are depressed and the rest. There are a lot of medical students that, they are so depressed.
Yeah.
And it's not even just about the exams, the struggles, like you have to be in clinic, classes and the rest. And there are some people that, they don't really have this backup. They are pressures from home.
Yeah,
And
parental pressure.
That's why most of them, I don't even blame some of them that commit suicide, but suicide is not an option. What do you think, as you said, yes, you were a sociable person in med school. So how was it for you? If you had a classmate like that or a classmate like that, what would you have said to that person?
There was this slangs I and my friends usually would use back then. I would tell myself, get as you won't be, where you never be before.
Actually, true.
So, thinking of the worst case scenario, you fall out of medical school. Are you saying your life is entirely useless without medical school? Do you understand? I for one wanted, and I knew that I would become a medical doctor. That was because I had to put in, I had to try my best. Do you get? I didn't give it it wasn't an option for me. It wasn't an option, because I knew that, okay, since I understood what it took to become a medical doctor, I was going to just keep trying. Whether you're going to have receipt or not is not up to you, because sometimes, except you are a very amazing medical student and your life is just to make sure you're glued to your book. But then if it's as for having receipts or maybe having repeats, sometimes if you're just an average medical student, it's most likely bound to happen. You're not the first. You're not going to be the second. You're not going to be the last. Do you get? Funny enough, we've had professors of medicine, really huge medical doctors now, who are, doing exploits, who had receipts. I know of one of my professors who had a repeat. Do you understand? So it's not about, the storms in medical school. It's about how you're able to deal with these storms. You get? So it's most likely going to happen. But then the question is, when it happens, how are you going to deal with it? Just have the mindset that you know what it takes to get this. You can tell yourself where you went wrong, and you can go back to the drawing board and make sure you redirect your steps and just get it on.
True.
Do you get? Having receipts doesn't make you less of a medical student. It doesn't make you less of a medical doctor as well. If I had withdrawn, I would gladly go into business, buying and selling.
You won't come back?
I won't come back.
Why? But you had a passion for it.
I had the passion, but I just felt like aside medical school, I told myself initially that if it didn't work out, I would just do business.
Wow.
But to be honest, I knew I was not going to be withdrawn. I just knew. See, being a medical student, if you're a good medical student, whether average or exceptionally good, you would know. Do you get? Most importantly, then when results are coming out, you would know if you've performed well. And it's just by making sure you go through your curriculum, do the things you're supposed to do as a medical student. And I mean, whether you're a socialite, whether you're into school politics, there are so many people. We had great footballers in class. We had really amazing politicians in class. We had different people who had different perspective, different things they were doing. We had people who were even so good at business. Then, before my friends like transfer Dr. Richard and Zimuzo, they all got into different things. I had a friend who even till now still does music, Dr. Williams. Richard too is an amazing artist as well. Zimuzo is a business guru. Short. Sometimes I wonder what he's doing in medical school or like a medical practice. Do you understand? So and so many other persons, they were quite good at what they did. You get, but then understanding the templates. What does it take to become a medical student or a medical doctor? If you're an average student, and I mean an average student who understands that you need to open your book and read, and you understand, you can become a medical doctor.
Going back, I think I remember when you were into student politics. So I think there are med students that have aspirations of entering student politics.
Yeah.
So how would you, or what would you say to them to be able to balance the academic life, the political life? Because when you're into politics, they tell you do not involve your emotions and all of that. For medical students, we are highly emotional. Do you understand? So what advice would you give to these people that have this aspiration?
Firstly, I don't know what particular advice to give them, but I think getting into what I would preferably call student leadership, aside politics, because I just felt that the major reason why I got into students leadership or politics, as you may call it, was because I just wanted to, contribute my quota in making sure that things were working, especially within the medical student space. So I just feel you should know what you want out of this. For me, I wanted to really interact. I wanted to, impact. I wanted to just, have my own share of, relating experiences, having to do the things I have to do to, promote certain advocacy and all. So it now made me understand that for me to impact those changes, I would have to get into certain offices. You get. So then that was what made me start moving around, doing a bit of politics and all. And it was quite amazing. It helped me understand how the flow of politics usually plays out. Most times you don't really get your emotions involved, knowing fully well that an office you don't get doesn't make you less of a person. You could still impact the change you want to impact, except you have personal interest and you just want to, maybe go there to do something entirely awkward. It becomes a problem for you, and then you spend a lot. But while still doing that, I just advise people don't lose track of the reason why you're in medical school.
Like the fact that you were able to combine all these things and did well in med school is so amazing. And now I heard you're now in tech. I want you to tell us about. I'm interested also in this tech.
Well, I think I picked up interest in tech when I was done with my housemanship.
Okay.
You get. So I and some of my group of friends, we're just working on something small. I wouldn't want to loud for now. Maybe with time it would all be fruitful, but it's more like an app that's usually it's actually for health management, having to run your hospital facility, keeping tabs of details, and having to just, I think with time I would get to know, but for now it's just a little bit of scratch trying to put things together and build it. Yeah.
I think I'm interested in the software. It's amazing, Reels. I think me myself too, I'm also interested in tech. I'm currently learning this UI stroke UX development skills.
amazing.
So I'm trying to pair it up with medicine too as well.
Amazing.
Makes sense.
Amazing.
Makes sense.
So, like the software now you're currently working on,
Yeah.
like what project, like what progress is like, what is the current state of the software working?
It's going well. It's going well. For I am basically the graphic director.
Okay.
Do you understand? So we have so many other persons who are working on it. At the moment, we are trying to make sure we draft down everything that is needed. Do you understand? Having to understand what's running a hospital is like.
Okay.
You know, when you have a hospital, you have sections, pharmacy, nursing, doctors, having to keep tab of details of each patient, even down to disbursing of funds, because most of these departments have their roles in how funds come into the facility, and then trying as much as possible to make sure that at the end of each of the working period, which is a month or so, that each and every person within the facility have their funds disbursed seamlessly without having delays and everything. So it's just a whole lot of, a whole lot. I think with time, when it's all, entirely cooked and presented, you guys would enjoy it.
Oh, Dr. Forbes, I have a question. You see, there's this stuff that people say, I want to start this stuff. Let's say as a medical student, you hear things like after this exam, after this exam, or after med school. What's one thing that you were shocked after you just finished med school? Would you have like started everything you are doing now when you were in med school, forgetting all those stuff of after this exam? Because that's like, there are a lot of people that have ideas, but you know how med school can be so crazy, it can just drift you one side, and people are like, after the exam, and you find out that this thing you are not going to do it. Can you still even do it?
Like
as
the
a
plans
doctor?
you had back in med school.
Now, the thing is, I'm one who's very, what I say, a whole lot of ideas get into my head. So I don't know if I would say, I'm innovative and all. But one thing about ideas is it flows, it comes and it goes. You get what I'm thinking about doing now, possibly would not be what I would be thinking about probably in the next 2 to 3 years or so. You get so, but there are things I held on to, or I'm still holding on to. Now, getting back in some of the things I did, I wrote books while in medical school.
You wrote books?
It was just novel.
Okay.
So
It is still available because
whether you can recommend for us.
Yeah, very much available.
Okay.
So I had a clothing brand then. I ventured into crypto trading and organizing classes. And for each of these ideas, I did them while still having exams coming on, right? For me, there are so many medical students who spend their entire time having to read, go to school and all. Sometimes when these ideas come, I try to execute them and then go back to my books. But that doesn't stop me from, doing the things I would want to do. Some of the novels I wrote, I already had the drafts right from secondary school. And then I organized it, did my thing and published them. Also, my clothing brand, it came in, I think that was few months before second MD. I just thought of the idea. So I just wanted something that was going to bring in funds. I needed to build a brand. That was Forbes Clothing. So that was when the entire idea of Forbes started coming in.
How about the books? The names?
Yeah, the other one was 9 Lives.
Okay.
And the other one was Adeze. I think I've forgotten the. There were 3. There were 3, but one of the major ones was 9 Lives. Yeah. So the Adeze, The Pride of Her Parents, was a book I already wrote back in secondary school. So when I had the time, I just had to take it to some persons to vet the book and let it out.
Makes sense.
So talking about plans, I'm sure outside of the software program you and your team are working on, I'm sure you have other plans in the pipeline.
Sure.
So can you throw more light on your other plans?
You know, I don't like letting out my plans.
You can
I
just
don't
do
like
without
letting
saying
it out.
too much, just
Well, okay. So I still have plans on, you know, getting into public health space and a bit of healthcare management,
yeah.
which is not like the conventional medical system of practice. So I just want to do something that would be a bit more cool for me to do and also venture into other things I, you know, wish doing. So yeah,
Well, would you, all these things are still within medicine?
they're still within medicine.
You're not planning on leaving medicine?
I don't plan on leaving medicine entirely.
So you are going to the business part of medicine?
Exactly.
Makes sense. So
Makes sense.
what advice are you going to give to your fellow colleagues?
Do you? I won't tell you to get into the business of medicine.
Okay.
Because it might be something that you're not entirely cool with.
Yeah, true.
You get. So you might want to get into entertainment. You might want to get into health content creation. I have a very good mentor and friend, Aproko Doctor.
Uh-huh.
Do you
Wonderful.
understand? So he did his house job, funny enough, in IMSUT here.
Okay.
So yeah, so you could see that his line of practice is not, you know,
Clinical.
it's not just clinical and all, and he is, I think, having more impact than some persons who are in, you know, normal clinical practice. So it just has to be what you feel works for you and what you think you can handle. It's not like because this person is doing it, let me get into it. Then you see someone else who's doing something amazing again in healthcare, and you want to rush into that, and you're just confused.
In summary of everything you said,
Yeah.
I think one of the things you said that helped you navigate the transition from med school to being a medical doctor is the fact that you were social.
Yep.
So what's one skill you would tell medical students that they should develop outside of medicine that would help them navigate the transition as well from med school to being a medical doctor?
One skill that is underrated is having, aside being sociable, is developing public speaking ability. And you know, public speaking, you might think, is just, you know, having to address a whole lot of crowd or a whole lot of people, or addressing a crowd, or having to give speeches, you know, highfalutin speech and all. But having to, you know, sit and interact with people from different phase, from different stratas, is quite something that would help you outside medical school. So aside just having to read, you know, facing your books and reading, just learn some other things. Back in school, I was a debater, award-winning debater. I also had, you know, some you know, way through public speaking as well. And it initially started from just, you know, trying to learn how to debate, trying to know how to rub minds with people from different, you know, departments and fields. But then with time, I felt it was cool to involve in the sports. So
you did a lot of things. Well,
yeah, I did.
You know, you made mention about business in med school. You made mention about politics, your brands and the rest of them. Do you have any issue with your parents?
Yes, I would say I did, but my parents with time understood that I just am my person. My parents, just like every other African parent, would tell you, "I'm gonna focus on your book.
Yeah.
Just try and read and leave this entire thing. Maybe when you're done." But I was of the opinion that just let me do my thing, because these were the things that gave me fulfillment. Like I said, if medical school didn't work out, which I knew was going to work out. Obviously, I had all other things I could do for myself. A whole lot other things I could do for myself. There are people who've gotten their career off debating, public speaking, people who are doing amazingly well in the tech space, trading, people who had a whole lot of, different people who have careers outside medical practice, who are medical doctors. Do you get? So if it doesn't work out, do some other thing.
In summary, so what would you tell our viewers now
Okay.
that something nobody prepared you for when you became a medical doctor?
Nobody prepared me for the pressure I was going to face. And I mean, everyone expects a lot from you as a medical student. And most importantly, your parents. By the time you spend a year, in short, from the time you're into medical school and your parents start telling everyone, oh, my son is a medical doctor. They start calling them mama doc, papa doc.
Yeah.
The pressure starts coming in. Your extended family, they expect a whole lot. They expect you to be exceptionally intelligent. They expect you to know it all. Even while in your third year in medical school, you might start getting weird questions. Well, I'm after some, and then you're expected to give medications and all. But I just understood that I had to wade off those pressure and focus on what should be done. You get? So just still the same word. Do you. Try as much as possible to not let the pressure get into your way of doing the things you would have to do to become a better person, a better medical student, a better medical doctor. Just do you. Do you.
But then to that med student that is doing himself or doing and the pressure from home, like politics now. Imagine I'm doing politics, I'm trying to do my business and everything, and my parents are like, guy, your book. I mean, your book. What do you? Because now you're saying it because you're already done with med school, but there are people that are facing this pressure in med school. So what would you advise that person? Would you say the person should be rebellious?
Now see, one thing about parents is their fears are very much valid. They love us so much and they have our best interest at heart. Most times you don't get your hands on a whole lot of things that would distract you from the major reason you're there.
Yeah.
With time, if you explain to them and whether they would want to, agree with the things you're doing or not, all they need is a conviction that you would be able to go through medical school without distraction.
True.
You're writing your second MB, you tell them, and they just know that, okay, just last week you were shooting videos, or you went for a conference, or you were, in a football competition, and then second MB presents itself. You have to call them, announce to them that you passed second MB. They're happy. With time, they will forget what you're doing. They will just possibly want to, struggle and give you the needed support. But I can tell you for a fact, they would respect you more if you're able to take decisions that would not, alter the original plans they have for you or make you deviate. You get.
That's
so
true.
If they see you can, still do what you're doing and excel exceptionally in medical school, trust me, they will let you be with time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Forbes.
It's a nice one. I mean, I was I'm so happy.
I'm really happy. Thank
you so much, Dr.
Guys, please don't forget to subscribe,
Yeah.
like, and follow. If you want to listen to more interesting stories like this that would make an impact in your daily lives as well, don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and like, and also share our videos to your various social media handles. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate.
No problem.